Hey folks, we're going to do some more martial power. No, what are we working on today? Oh, we're doing maps. We're working on maps this morning for the Spelljammer Xaryxis campaign. Give me a moment to check my signal and make sure things come through. Give me a moment to... that sounds pretty clean. So doing all the things that we do in the world of digital, like and subscribe for more of this when it happens every day. I just posted on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, I just posted. So now you know I'm live. I'm just going to hit my Discord channels here real quick, just a punch signal, and then we're going to get back into some cartography here. The DMsGuild Creator Lounge and DTRPG crew and Indestructiboy, Trent Monk, Dungeoneer Pack, Fry Mini, and Zipperon. I'm just kind of firing through people here real quick. Cleric Corner and Zipperon. If any of these names seem familiar to you, you should check out the Discord community because all these guys are fun as hell. We got that cleared, and it looks like everyone looks okay. So, okay, great. So here's a here's our book cover. We got about an hour and a half that we can continue hammering at this. So it was fun building this cover. This will publish on the DMs Guild as soon as it's done. That's, we're making sausage now, so it takes some time. If you check in the link down below at the DMs Guild link that I have, there's a bundle of different books that I've made. All of them are 100% preview, cover to cover. It gives you an idea of the kind of books that I create, the kind of artwork that I put into them, the ideas that I have. There you go. So, I mean, if you like them, buy them. But just check them out, play with them, see what it looks like. Here is our map. This is what our asteroid map has developed into since we last visited. So I had a chance to tweak on it a little bit. And so let's walk through real quick what we're doing here. So the way that... Hold on. This one. There we go. All right, cool. So there and there. That's not gonna work. All right, not a good idea. Okay, so what's the idea here? So the way that Xaryxis is described is that you notice that there is you come to an asteroid field. There is a derelict nautiloid in the astral field. You explore the nautiloid. You do your dungeon raid, you loot it, you bail from it. When you get on your ship and go, you are attacked by a Nightspider ship. So the adventure is designed that you run away from the ship, and when you do, patrol ships from the Rock of Brawl are on the scene, and the Nightspider gets spooked and runs away. So, and that's the end of the encounter, and you go back to Rock of Brawl and get your next MacGuffin. And like we spoke last time, the way that we're building it is that sure we'll the stress beacon on the nautiloid's orrery is triggering an invitation for people to find it, and if you fail your intuition check or your insight check, then you'll suspect there's something wrong going on here. But the captain who runs the ship will insist, well, we should, if it is a trap, we should at least know that they could be stranded or there could be a trap, and we need to find out which one it is, because if they're stranded, they're going to need help. If it's a trap, hopefully we'll be able to get away fast enough that that we can report what's going on. You do the nautiloid. So here is where the nautiloid starts at. Yeah, we'll do some squiggly face nautiloid business silliness here. Yeah. So that's your derelict nautiloid there, and your ship's going to be like parked here or something. And the way that it describes is that when you get out of the nautiloid ship, you are ambushed by a nautiloid. So I've got two positions where it could show up potentially either here or here. And so these are pathways through the through the asteroid. The way to get out of the asteroid field in this example is to find your way out, because you're in an asteroid field, there's all, rocks moving around and stuff, and you have to weave your way through asteroids to get out. These are representing clear paths through the asteroid field that you can get to other areas, like this circles around, and then this circles here, this circles around. If you start here, you could go this way, and then you have to go here, like you could circle around. Like, this is a straight shot. This seems pretty easy, right? Here's your funnel to escape. Or if you come this way, you can funnel through and you can escape. So these are your escape chutes to get out of the asteroid field, and get on with the next adventure. So your characters don't know, they know how they got into the asteroid field, but the asteroids are shifting, so the way in is no longer the way out. Which is the first problem. You're lost inside of this asteroid maze, and you've potentially taken damage from crawling around inside the Nautiloid jungle dungeon, and now you have a Nautiloid ship that wants to pursue you. So give me a second here. Let's grab a Nightspider, Spelljammer. Let's grab some quick easy art here. I'm going to copy image, I'm going to paste it, and then we're going to Space Galleon. Hey man, how do? Space Galleon, we're just going to grab copy image, some artwork here. We're going to create our own icons, but we haven't done it yet. So here, in the meantime, we're just going to borrow some internet stuff like I do. We're setting up the example here. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, I got lost in my map here for a moment. So that's straightened out, and we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So okay, great. So here's our total map. We're seeing it's a 20 by 30 grid that we've built here. It's 10 by 10, 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 10 by 10. This will all fit onto a VTT map very easily as a 20 by 30 map space. And in print, each one of these pages will easily print out onto 11 by 17s, 10 inches wide with half-inch margins on each of them, and 6 inches left over for margin of terror. So so let's see. Let's get back into the example idea that we're working with here. So if this is a Nautiloid ship, this crappy circle here, that's your crappy circle, and this is the size at the 500-foot scale. This is how your ship fits inside of a 500-foot space. And here is your creepy Nautiloid, which could either show up here or it could show up here. But they have an initiative count of 20. So when your team disembarks from the Nautiloid derelict onto the Space Galleon and is getting ready to go, the asteroid field is shifted, so their way in is no longer their way out. And now they have to find their way out. And the entire map, they don't know necessarily where they need to go. So this dungeon that we created is simulating the gaps and spaces that are existing in the asteroid field for ships to maneuver through, and it's a few miles. So each one of these squares is a square mile. 500-foot square times 10 is 5,000 feet, which is just shy of a mile. So we just round off. It's roughly a mile. So 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, 4 mile, 5, 6 miles worth of, and this is like maybe the middle of the asteroid field. So overall, there'd be this could be like a 5 by 5 mile space that picks up on the orrery. So let's go to our playtest content here, and let's scroll up to the top just to take a look at real quick at the 5 mile squares. Let's see. Beep, 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 beep. Navigating. So this is navigating wild space. Spelljammer helms. Get past that. Scaling time and distances in wild space. Encountering objects. So let's see. DC. The object scale. 5-foot human, 50-foot Avernus machine, 500-foot spelljamming ship. We are at the Rock of Brawl scale, so we would be able to pick up on this structure being between 1 and 10 miles. It fits to backtrack the conversation here. If we're drifting through wild space, and like Rock of Brawl is here in space, and like this asteroid field is here in space, and we can see 100 million miles per day. The Rock of Brawl is the Rock of Brawl, as well as this asteroid field, both fit inside the 10-mile space. It's the asteroid field itself is larger than a single mile, because each square is a mile, but it's not larger than 10 miles total. So it fits inside of it fits in at most inside structurally at the 10 million mile range. You can see you can fly 100 million miles per day in Spelljammer, and both the Rock of Brawl and the asteroid field both get picked up inside of that 1 day range. When you're within a day of the Rock of Brawl, you know the orrery tells you that the Rock of Brawl is over here, but you're also sensing that there's this asteroid field over here, which makes sense because Rock of Brawl is an asteroid. So it makes sense that there's asteroids floating around in the area, right? Well, this one, there's a distress signal that's triggering off of the orrery that is planted on the nautiloid ship to lure in do-gooders that would then check it out, which is what the Ebony Spider is counting on, so that they can attack whoever it is that comes along and looks at it. That's the plot setup of the villains inside of the adventure. So we understand why the mechanics of this adventure work at all. So the team so in the time that they spend fighting inside the nautiloid dungeon, they come back out onto their ship. They realize that that the way that they came in is shifted, and it's no longer the way out. And they now need to find a new path out. So the Nightspider then shows up. It has an initiative count of 20. If the team can roll above a 20 on their if the pilot can get above a 20 on their initiative check, then they'll be able to move the ship first. Otherwise, the rest of the team can, ready for attack or upscale their casting to 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 squares away, 2,000 feet away. So at 5th level, they're sporting 3rd level spells. It'd be expensive for them to target spells at this range, but they could do it. So it would cost them 1, 2, 3. It would cost them 2 extra spell levels for any spell that they wanted to throw this way. So they could potentially do it. Like, they could slow this ship and disable its movement some. But it would cost them the 3rd level spell slot to cast slow, and then they'd have to upcast it with 2 additional spell slots. That's an expensive process for a 5th level character, but they could do it, and it would give them the edge to be able to help try to get away. But these guys roll on an initiative count 20, so if they beat the pilot, they're going to be able to close distance. A metal Nightspider can only move 4 squares in a move, so they got 1, 2, 3, 4 in one move. They're already adjacent to the ship. The pilot can then, on the nautiloid ship, this is their relationship. We could then, quote unquote, zoom in on the side map here at the 50-foot scale. Let's see. These guys are. This is I think the Nightspider is a 400 by 4. Is a no. Is it 200 by 200 or is it 400 feet? Let's double check it real quick. Nightspider is a 4x4 vehicle. So that's 4 squares by 4 squares, 200 feet long. So it's going to fit inside this 4x4 space. And the space galleon that we have is space galleon out of the box equals a 3x3 with 300 hit points. So we're smaller, but we're a wood ship. So we have a move speed of 6 as opposed to the Nightspider's 4. So let's just resize these things here. That song gets on my nerves after a while. All right, so yeah, this is our ratio. Here's our 3x3 space, and here's the Nightspider's 4x4 space. A side map for a dogfight would basically look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and there. Okay. So, and the 500 by 500 foot scale map. Here's a square. Here's a square. 500 foot scale map. Here's a square. Here's a square. This is the size that these ships fit inside of. So 4x4 space and 3x3 space. If these ships, the Nightspider can choose to close distance as part of its next move action. So, and it can move 4 squares. So it scales down, and then 4 squares is beep beep beep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it can use. It has a bonus action to move again because that's how its pilot do. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is now adjacent to you, but it's ran out of action economy. But it could zoom in again. Because each round, each time you move, as part of your movement, without taking away distance from your squares of movement, it can close distance. It just happens that it works out that using all 3 of its move actions at 4 squares per move, it can close distance at the 500 foot scale, get into a dogfight with you. It could be firing weapons already at this scale. It could be firing weapons at this scale, but ballistas only have a 500 foot range, so it has to be adjacent to you here to even be able to fire on you with ballistas in the first place, which covers the space in this dogfight because each square is 500 feet. So once this spider gets in this space, you are within range of ballista fire. But it also has a catapult, which has a mangonel, which has a 2,000 foot range, a 1,000 foot range, which is 2 squares. So it could, once it gets to this square here, it could fire its mangonel as its opening shot. Then it closes in, then it scales in, and now it's got 4 ballistas that are taking shots. Ballistas only do D4 times 10 damage per hit, but that would be potentially 16 damage that the pilot would take if he doesn't want his ship damaged. And at 5th level, he's probably only got about 40 some odd hit points. So you could lose the pilot could lose 25% of their hit points just in the opening silo alone. Now the ship, again, closes distance, and then at the 5 foot scale, we have to have a separate map altogether, because if we're going to scale down to that point, it's going to look a lot like this. Not always going to fill a 3x3 space. So that is literally these 3 this grid. Like, this is the size of the nautiloid, because here's your 1 map, your 2 map, your 3 map. That's your 3 squares. That's a 3x3 space. And here's the nautiloid in comparison. It's just it fills. That's how big the space is. But it would be a Spelljammer map. So we would have you have your ship. It looks like this, and then you got your sail like this, and here's like your foredeck, and here's your aft deck, and blah blah. And then you got your Nightspider ship like this, and it's got its weapon rack here. It's got 1, 2, and it's got and it's got its back 1, 2, 3. So catapult, ballista. There you go. So that's how this Nightspider's kitted out. So I'm actually gonna just delete that. The lip. So you're gonna want to get the hell away from that shit. Assuming that they don't close distance and board you immediately. They are bop, bop. So it's your initiative. You're going to want to move. At this scale, you're going to need to do a disengage action. Otherwise, you're going to be able to fire a volley of shots at you as part of your effort to, as an opportunity attack, as it were, because you're disengaged, because you're moving away from them. So you use the disengage action. You could choose either to go the way that they came, and this you won't see any of this because, like, you know, Fog of War on Roll20 is going to be roughly like this. It's like, this is what you get to see on your map. Like, this is your world roughly. This is what you get. So, like, these are your paths. You can go this way, or this way. The Nightspider came from this way, or I'm sorry, it came from this way. So maybe your team's going to be smart. You're going to think, well, okay, I'm going to go that way. So we would move the Fog of War for everybody, and then we can go our 1, 2. We use disengage 3, 4, 5, 6. That's our movement for the round. We're done. We can fire volleys at them on our way out, but that's pretty much the movement we have for the round. The Nightspider can then go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it can attempt to close distance again over here to try to take shots at you. You're going to engage fire with them and either stay your ground. And we've got this dogfight that's going on over here. And if these Nightspiders can engage you in dogfighting, if you want to get out of that dogfight scale, you would have to use an opposed piloting check. So it could be that when you are here, you weren't able to successfully disengage from the dogfight. So now when you're moving, you can, instead, the Nightspider ship would stay in relation to you as you move. So the dogfight over here is being maintained. But while you're moving, your speed is going to be halved, which is great for the Nightspider. They're content with that. But if you can use your piloting check to break, quote unquote, break the grapple and get away, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're in a decision-making point here. These, quote-unquote, doorways are shifting asteroids. So we already know that all of this area is asteroid and asteroid. And we have asteroid here, we have asteroid here, and here, and here. Here's a bunch of asteroids that we'll be able to easily draw. And then fill the space in, like you have asteroid, 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 asteroid. That's how we kind of build the thing. So when the team gets here and here, they can either they could go back in, and this is an unobstructed path, so they can see that there's an opening here for them to fly through to get through the asteroids. But if they want to get through these asteroids, there's another pathway that they can continue through. This is a piloting check. So when they see the door, they know what the piloting check is that they're going to have to roll to get through there without taking any damage. If they go through the doorway here and they fail the check, they're still through the door. They're just going to take crash damage in the process, which is going to be, it's only 1 square of movement that they have to take to get through this passage. So that's 50-foot scale at the size of a ship. That would be treated as D6 times 10 damage that the ship itself would take. The ship only has 300 hit points of damage, so on average it's going to take 30 points of damage from that hit, which means it can only do that 10 times. And if we scale out, the way that the map is built is no matter what path you take, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 gates that they have to pass through to get out of the asteroid field, but they don't know how far in they are. So there you go. They're going to be able to proceed through here, and each one of these rooms can have, we can build out a random encounter, like a hazard. Like there's a small storm here that is a dirt debris field. So when you fly it through, your visibility is limited, and you're going to have to make a Constitution saving throw or lose concentration for the round, which gives the Nightspider a chance to go through here as well and catch up with you. The fun thing about this, furthermore, is the Nightspider uses this place to hide often and lure in ships. It's a problem that everyone is acknowledging exists, and the reason they can get away with that is because they know this asteroid field super well. And so while they're navigating through here, here's a point that they can have a hidden pathway that they know about through the asteroid field. So if the players can get far ahead of them, and if they're close enough to one of these passages, they're going to lose visibility because of the asteroids here and here, but these guys can find their way through a path here to get ahead, potentially get ahead of the players and run into them again at another location. And the neogi are familiar with the hazards of each of these areas. Some of them are traps that they created themselves, specifically so they could slow down ships getting out of this dungeon. Like they could use this path here to get over to here if they want, or they could use this path and then come over here. These are the DCs to notice the pathway. So on this side, it's more difficult to see them. If the team isn't moving full speed, or if they're actively saying, hey, we're trying to keep an eye out for stuff, I can check their passive perception against these pathway entry points to see if they notice them. Like this is a 20 to get into this pathway. It's a 20 to get in from here and here, and it's a 16 to get in from here and here. It's a 20 here. So there's an opportunity at 6th level. There's a chance that they can notice these things. And if they notice them, they could also try to use them as well. Use the pathways as against the neogi. So when they get out, they can inform the cops. It's like, hey, if you want to try to track these guys down, they know about some pathways that move through here. That's why you're having such a hard time. You could go in with 2 ally ships to go hunt this thing down with you, and then you could use the commander, the squad command role to take control of the 2 patrol ships that come in with you. Now you've got 3 people, your ship, and 2 sidekick ships that then try to hunt down this neogi. And you could use your orrery to relay information, so you could try to like trap and coordinate, like you could try to coordinate where they're at and trap them inside of here and then gun them down or capture them and take them to justice or whatever it is that you need. But there's slaves aboard that ship. So if you can get them, you can get them, and you can get them free. So that's the setup. That's how the adventure works. If you want to get through the challenge, if you want to get through this gate, you're going to have to roll a 19, otherwise you're going to take damage. But you can get through it. It's not a problem. So, and then if you want to get out undamaged, it's a 22. So this place is going to guarantee, either you're going to do 4 ability checks with movement to get out of here unscathed, or you're going to take damage in the process, on top of whatever damage you take from the Neogis taking fire at you. So by the time you get out of here and the cops show up, if you're doing well, you could turn around and come at them. But the Neogi are just going to fade in. They know all their hidden pathways. They can effectively hide throughout here, and we're going to have like some floral and fauna stuff, like little like plant life and creatures and stuff in some of these areas that are growing, that the Neogi can come and farm for food for their slaves, and then occasionally eat their slaves, as it were. So there'll be a whole little microcosm inside of here that the Neogi can thrive on and not have to leave, and they keep luring ships in with that orrery distress signal, and then they pop the trap and try to jump on them before they can get away. So the team might want to run away from the Neogi, go this way, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, they're out, or 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you had to loop back around, you had to go through the gates again. So if you go this way, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you go this way, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter what path you take, as long as you don't double back and repeat yourself, you only have to make 4 piloting checks or potentially take damage 4 times to get out. If you can keep up and ahead of the Neogi ship, it may be able to. It has its 2 moves up to 8. It can pull a 3rd move for 12. So if you start getting too far ahead of it, it can close distance on you. So yeah, that's the logics of that. So now we're gonna get back to painting. Tokens. There. We'll hide those guys. Up my grid. My grid. Man, I got some music kicking, yo. Paths, gates. There. Okay, cool. So next thing we're going to do, we're just going to fade this down. Does that make sense? Does all that make sense? Hopefully that sounds fun. But it should take about, with the team moving 12 speed, it only takes 4 rounds for them to get from here to any exit. If they get slowed down and get trapped in a dogfight and slowed, they can use that as an opportunity to try to stun the Neogi ship by slamming it against the walls of these asteroids to disable its concentration, so they can afford to exit. They can ramp up and get speed against them and get out without getting locked down and boarded. That's the biggest concern for the team, is getting boarded. Hey, Todd. Damage on fail and other hazards sound good. I really like the hidden paths. Right on, man. So yeah, that's how we build dungeons with spaceships at the 500-foot scale. So, and then you got that running gun with the dogfight where you're exchanging fire with each other. So while you're navigating through the map, it's like you're dragging somebody using grappling rules. Your movement speed is reduced by half. So if you use your object interaction to pilot the ship and then your standard action to do it again, while you're dragging the neogi ship, you can move up to 6 squares, which is going to slow you down to 8 rounds instead of 4. But at some point, hopefully you'll be able to disable the neogi ship enough that it's going to want to disengage from dogfighting with you, so you can try to get distance and get out. So that's where we're at with the overall map. We are going to start drawing asteroids. That's our next thing. So I'm dropping down the opacity here. Since we like how the dungeon's design is generally set up, we can now come in and I can put a lock on this layer. I can put a lock on this. And there. So now we can start, drawing asteroids. So I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and we're going to come back and we're going to be at the 4 pixel scale. That's our 4 pixels. So here I need to have the pathways apparent so that I can make sure I properly design. I can get rid of that and drop the opacity on that. Like that. Spoiler alert, Tyler. I don't know if you're going to be in a test or not. But yeah, you're seeing all the secrets here. We're making sausage on screen. And this is just its own floating asteroid, like that. I can... Yeah. Here, and... See, I have these things trimmed down, so I have roughly the idea of the space, but I don't have to conform with it specifically. I do want to keep the tunnels clear, mostly. So when I get rid of that, here's the line spaces that you see, and this will all be roughly like that, with the fog of war. And you got that and 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 that. It's because it'll look roughly like this. So that's like one cluster there, and like here's a cluster. It's like it's obvious like this is here. Yeah, and then if there's all these little nooks and crannies, is like, oh, it's easy for. Is it possible for the spider ships to be fitting in these crannies? It's like, yes, it is. Absolutely, they can do that. So we build it so we have these gaps in there that they're aware of, that the team doesn't necessarily know that is present. And so if they can find them with a successful spot check, it's like, yeah, there's a nook in there. Do you want to fly your ship in? It's like, no. But it's nice to know that it's there, So you can have like these little, you can squeeze, you can navigate through these spaces because those are mostly open. I'll get micro niche on these things eventually. I don't need to be so crushingly. I don't need to worry about detail right now. All I really need to worry about is having the rocks fill in proper. So 10 by 10. I want to go with. I'm just gonna do off-screen rock stuff because like this is gonna be my border here. That's a hard border right there. So I'm gonna do partial asteroids like this. I can do things like litter this area with asteroids. Like this square is occupied by asteroids, and this one is occupied by asteroids. I can have like just random tokens that I can drop down. I can leave the area open, but I can provide little tokens in the margins of the print page for you to like, hey, here's some extra asteroids you can drop down during when you're in this area. The asteroids are shifting. So like anytime you enter a new area, there's a chance that you'll have asteroids shift. So the DM can just drop another asteroid, say here and here. That now blocks off access to this pipe. So if they're going this way, now they have to go this way. Or they could try to like go here and hide while the Nightspider comes in. They won't have any sight on the team going through this door. So if they dip down through here and curve around here, they could potentially trick and evade the Nightspiders hunting them, and they would get lost. So each round the DM can drop in asteroids into an area that the players are occupying, or take them out if you have them starting in there in the first place, representing the shifting nature of the asteroids in the place. This is what is available right now. When you go into a space, there's a chance it'll disappear, or you could even potentially have like one of these things opened up if you wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to go that far. I think we're going to risk taking things away from the party and just have random asteroid stuff dot in and out. Yada yada and the wander. And just like with the Big Mama map that we did last week, we'll, once all these asteroids are built out, are rounded out, we'll go back through, we'll clean up how they look, and then we'll color them all in, and then, you know, Bob will be your uncle. Just like that. Okay. Just like that. I don't have a lot of words today. There you go. No words. They should have brought poet. That's how we're looking so far. So fun. I'm gonna grab that coffee real quick. It's 7:20, so I still got maybe about 20. I still got a half hour at least. And coffee time. We are equipped with our coffee. So what am I trying to say? I think it's fun because the whole intention of this system was to build ship maps, to build ship combat to be just like your to function very similar to 5-foot scale for characters running around in dungeons. And now we have built a literal dungeon for ships to run around in. I am very proud of following through so literally on the objective. So I don't necessarily know if, you know, I don't have to, you know, I can do like this, you know, I can as I continue, like right now I'm just filling in the spaces, but obviously I can be, you know, off quote unquote off frame with the actual dungeon walls. Like those aren't hard committed spaces. Like I don't have to maintain this corridor to be so narrow and like have this hard line that's preventing it. In this instance I can, because I can happen to do that. But you know, I can build outside the walls a little bit, as long as I can see that there's a pathway through there. I can create. I can be a little bit more organic in how I create these things. So. So when I finish this first take on the asteroids, I can start sculpting the shape of each asteroid to either infringe on or open up space in between. So it stays. So it's. I want to keep that present, just for awareness. Fade that grid a little bit more. There. As usual, I arrive with almost an hour. It's not that you're late, man. Wizards always appear at the time they choose. I just stream earlier than is convenient for you, Horde. It's good to see you, Hornetica. But yeah, this map is also ready for playtesting. So the Oh Mama map is ready. I just gotta drop in some icons on that, and this is going to be ready by this Thursday, no problem. I need to put out a shout out to see who on my playtesting team is available and if I need to recruit anybody today. I needed to have done that yesterday, but my day was pretty full. I had a busy day yesterday, so I didn't get around to it. But I'm going to put a shout out. I need to build that server, so I have a playtest server for people to hang out on Discord. So I'll build that today, and then I will invite folks that I've been playtesting with to jump onto the server, and we'll keep it low key for now. That fills in the first take. Like yonder. There we go. Okay, so that's the rough of it. So now we can see. Here are the different points of access. Nice. That's your hard. That's our hard margin. So let's see. Yeah, so just dropping these numbers in there, if you want to cross that path, that's the piloting check you need to make to do so without any damage. So easy enough. Yeah. So I think the next thing I need to do is let's drop the opacity on these asteroids. And do it again. I'm gonna do it again because now that we know where they're placed, we can make them. We can further ignore the structure. The maze structure is here, the dungeon structure, and then we fill in the space of the gap. We fill in the wall space so that we have the negative space that the ships can actually navigate through, and now we can further distort what those paths are by further ignoring the lines of the dungeon and letting the organics of the shapes of the asteroids inform what the actual spaces that people can navigate inside of. So that's the next step that we're taking into. So there's no real new innovations to report at this point. Like that's pretty much like the full innovations. We'll have to create some random encounters to drop into these rooms, but that'll be fun. Just creating random shenanigans. Right now I'm trying to figure out what kind of spacing do I want between these rocks so that they don't create false flags for, like, I think I found something. It's like, no, that's just aesthetics. I don't want to have that. That's going to be important to me, to not have that confusion between, is that actually a thing that you can, like, is this a space that we found to interact with, or is that just you drawing asteroids? Like, I want to make sure I want to make sure that stays clear. Sometimes I just don't have words. And my muse is being quiet today. That's what it is. It's coffee time, children. Let's have some coffee. Working on new magic items, eh? And I homebrew NPCs for my home table's Dragon Heist game. Oh, fun! Yeah, adventures take time, man. Lots and lots of time. Lots of time. That's why you get paid the big bucks. I mean, to be honest, we do what we must because we can. Like I see, like I keep talking about, it's my constant rant. I see a better way, like an old school way of running these 5e adventures, and I gotta build them. I have no choice but to build them. The news compels me. Now, I think my price point on this is probably going to be like between the Spelljammer combat mechanics and Light of Xaryxis itself, like as one product, probably going to be a $15 price point. I mean, it'll all be 100% preview, but like if you want all these map assets and stuff like that on your VTT or free to print out, then you have to actually buy the adventure. So, yeah, hopefully people will find value in the content that is free for them to view, for them to want to get the assets, or just, just purchase the thing to support the effort. Support the machine. But, yeah, $15 price point, that's not so bad. I can bundle that with other stuff and bring it down to like $10. Make it real easy. And then I can have the Light of Xaryxis itself as a tear out, as a separate promo piece. I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. I kind of like the Light of Xaryxis stuff as it's on its own isn't useful without the actual combat and exploration mechanics that we've developed. Like, you have to refer to the actual supplement to make use of the adventure modifications that we're making here. So this adventure actually belongs attached to the combat and exploration supplement that we built. So I think they'll just end up being like $15, and this is its own thing. But then we can do all sorts of little expansion things, like little asteroid maps like this and stuff, like $1 or $2, or even pay what you want, and then bundle that in with the Light of Xaryxis. And like every time you bundle something in, you can trim off the price a little bit for a growing and growing and growing bundle for Spelljammer mechanics, and then just mass combat mechanics and all the stuff that ends up filtering in through the command system that we've been building. Hey, look, it's the Smut Channel. Thanks for being here, guys. I am important enough for the Smut channels to show up, so I really appreciate that. Let's call it probably porn. And then we'll remove and report. There we go. Get out of here, you scallywags. Deleted. And show. Coffee. Hopefully this smut will go away soon enough. I had bots a while ago. And then they left me alone, and now they're back. It's all fun. Gangsters gotta make a living too. Spaces that you move through that aren't totally blocked, but like this, for instance, these two squares, they have asteroid in them. They're difficult terrain. You can cross through them, yeah, because your ships are like that big in these they're pixie size in a 5-foot square, so you can navigate through here, but it's still considered difficult terrain, and that's when aesthetics kind of scrape against mechanics. Here. Do not want any of these rocks actually touching. Yeah, this is just, we're just going to keep doing this for, like, ever. Honestly, what's up, man? Aesthetics versus mechanics, one of the oldest battles. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're resolving it fairly well. So we gotta do some quick cleanup around the board. So like that. There. Yeah, okay. I think that's good. Burp. Pleasing. Very, 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 very pleasing. Man, and there's something very soothing about drawing rocks. It's 7:45. You know what? I'm going to instead of me pushing my time over, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut out here. I'm pretty low energy today. I didn't get great sleep again. I'm hoping I can crash hard tonight and get up a little bit earlier to get stream going before 6:30. Like maybe even have stream up about 6. Just get some good rest in tonight. I think is my plan. I'm gonna just coffee the hell out of myself today and earn my coin. All right, that's it. I'm gonna cut it for the day. Sorry for the low energy, but I'm pleased. I am super pleased. And then the Citadel, the actual Xaryxis Citadel, is going to be the other big production piece that I need to produce for this. That is going to take some time. So I'm going to get this thing finished up, and then we're going to start moving into the Citadel map. Bob's your uncle. There we go. So, okay, great. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I won't be on tonight. I won't be on. I will be back. Yeah, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Thursday night's going to be playtesting, so I probably won't be on stream Thursday night. And then Friday morning, then Saturday will probably be mostly committed to Eberron artwork. So we got through the week, we're doing the asteroid maps in the mornings, and then when we stream in the evenings, that's when we do Eberron stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, guys. You can, if you didn't catch the front end of this, go ahead and check that out so you can see like how this mapping dungeon system works. And I'm really looking forward to playtesting this week. I mean, it's just a one-on-one run and gun through a dungeon maze, but it's good stuff. So we'll see you guys on the other side, and thanks for being here. So yeah, see you later. I'm so awkward today. Okay,